Hello, and welcome back to the spookiest season of the year, ARKTOBER 2025. My name is Noah. I am one half of the blood-sucking Blanchard brothers. Gavin is trapped in his coffin and will be here as soon as possible. In the meantime, I have called upon our fellow children of the night from across the ARKTOBER universe to join us once again. Mr. Brendan Riley joins us in transit in the night. Say hello.
Hello.
Once again, the slasherific Sunshine Mayfield joins us from just one state above.
Oh, it's good to be back.
And of course, once again, one half of the brothers Blanchard, Mr. Patrick J. Blanchard joins us from Virginia.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you guys for playing along. And we should be joined shortly by Mr. Barham Williams and probably Mr. Evan Tuig as well. All of our favorite friends from around the ARKTOBER universe. While we're killing time, waiting for see who else shows up here, any recent watches that anybody wants to jump in and talk about while I clean up my recording station real quick. Somebody jump in.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got you. Well, because, Noah, you and I just went and saw this together, and I said, man, I can't wait to get Patrick's take. And you said, hey, let's wait for the podcast. So we went and saw Black Phone 2, which Black Phone 1, sure, I'm hoping that everybody on this can agree that it was really good. Black Phone 1 was really good. I loved it. It's got a touch of realism outside of the paranormal that it definitely dives into. Ethan Hawke's great. I think the whole cast was great. Number one, I actually had a blast in Black Phone 2. I had a great time. I think no one mind's consensus when we were chatting was like, hey, like, was the movie entertaining? It was a great time. But do we feel as if there was a missed opportunity? I definitely feel like there was a missed opportunity in the universe they had built to capitalize on something special, and I think it fell short of special to just good. But it sounds like Patrick had some other thoughts, so I'd like to hear that, Patrick.
I loved it. Because I forgot how much I loved the character of Gwen.
Oh yeah.
And then like it was there she was. And it took a while for her to throw out the gutter mouth. But I was just so excited when she started cursing.
Sure.
The thing that got me was a lot of the movies that I've seen lately, across the board, suffer from what I call like the digital plateau. Like everything looks the same. This movie had a look to it that just like it was. They shot some on film, they shot some digital, they blended it, they did some really good grain post processing, and it visually excited me in a way that a lot of movies over the last since the digital revolution haven't. Like I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about 15 years ago. This is the great equalizer, and somebody's finally doing it for a main movie, not some smaller independent feature, not
Sure.
of course a big huge picture, but it was what we used to call a solid mid major. And I just love the visualness of it. I love the Kevin Bacon performance. I mean, not why do I want to say Kevin Bacon? Because Ethan Hawke is like a younger Kevin Bacon in sort of the roles that they could play. But yeah, I loved Ethan Hawke as the grabber. It made sense based on the supernaturalness of the first one for the return of the character. Like it was not a stretch. It was viable and believable within the confines of the universe that they had created.
I got a question about it. So I haven't seen it yet, but I did hear some people say that they thought they like weren't even sure if Ethan Hawke had really been on set that all that much, only because there's no way to really tell if it's Ethan Hawke or if it's like a voiceover, or that's what it sounded like to me, at least. That maybe you don't see as much of him. Is that true?
I mean, you don't. I mean, even in the first one, you really don't see his face all that much during the whole movie. But in the second one, yeah, like
But it's
he
definitely
is
him in the
he
first one.
is the mask. But that like it's kind of like they say in the first one, and they continue in the second one. His mask when he has his mask on, he's like he's a different person. You know, if there's a couple of times where it's like I wouldn't do that, I would never do that, and then he has the mask on and he's like, yeah, like I am the grabber. And he takes on that persona. And the second one, he never leaves that persona. So I don't think it's a stretch, but is he behind the mask? Like I don't know. I don't ever see his face. So
Well, I only mean that because like you even like when Ethan Hawke's doing like half mask at the upper part or only the lower part in the first one, it's obvious it's like still him, and all the little things that he's putting into the performance kind of like make it
yeah,
creepy, make it make it what make it good, make it like unsettling, I guess. That's why I was just curious, because only because I had heard that that was like part of what some people kind of said, like, well, was it even him or whatever?
I think that would be maybe more so. I don't know, Alex. Have you seen it too?
I haven't seen the second one, and Ethan, to your point, Evan, Ethan Hawke is a generational talent. So if it isn't him behind the mask, I could imagine that that would shift the performance in a way that would feel different or less genuine or less creepy. And so, if it
Right.
is a body double the whole time, I find that that would be disappointing. I also can buy it that a production company would do that to save on cost or time
Save a
All
ton of
money.
or
money. If
scheduling
you can have a
differences
dude
that exist. So it's, you know,
if you can have a dude on set for 6 days and pay him whatever it versus, whatever the 60 days or whatever it took to shoot the thing, yeah, I can imagine that is
That would be a
significant.
question then for like Noah and Patrick, I guess. You know,
Is
because you don't.
sorry,
Go
first of
ahead.
all, is Black Phone the only thing we've discussed so far?
So far, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Patrick, did you already give your take?
yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I assume you liked it a little more than Brendan and I.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I'll find out when I edit the episode. Uh, Brendan, to answer your question, we didn't really talk about that after when we came out, but
yeah,
I am almost positive he was nowhere near that set. That's a vocal performance only. I'm almost positive.
yeah. I said,
There's
you
no
know,
point where it's him on screen. Like
There,
yeah,
I
well,
don't
there,
think
there's
I
I
the
wouldn't.
there's the one scene where it's the half mask.
Where's the half mask? Yeah, that's
they
it.
do the half mask again, and it is for sure. We t
It's
well,
I can't.
wait, the top
It's
half
either
comes
for
off. I
sure or
remember when the
it's
No, no,
bottom
no, no,
half
no.
comes off.
The bottom half comes off when they're in the van, and then at the very end of the movie, they take the whole mask off. But that's like so momentary, and that's not even like a person.
Maybe he
there's
was there
there's
for a
the
day.
there's the scene on the lake where it's the bottom mask is still on
Mm-hmm.
and you
Top mask is off.
but the top mask is off, and
Okay,
he's either on set or it's a really good digital
for
insert.
sure. I'm thinking, okay, maybe then at the very, I'm like, maybe he's on set for like, yeah, 3 4 days, maybe. Um,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't I don't know.
I
Because like we said, he takes on that different persona when he has the mask on, and he never leaves that persona in the second movie. So like, it didn't really. I don't. I don't know. I didn't like. It didn't fall short for me. But I can understand that.
Yeah, Brendan was actually pretty high on it when we were coming out of the theater, and I think me being a little more down on it and maybe a little more
Well,
naysay and nitpicky brought him a little down on it too. I don't know.
we talked about some things, and to Patrick's point, when they go from film to digital and back and forth, I thought it was beautifully shot. I mean, it's gorgeous. I think personally the way that they do it, and when they go to film, man, it's spooky. You know, it is. It invokes a little bit of that spook, and I mean, I don't know that Noah had any of this, but I jumped scared a few times. I was like, oh, there we go. But I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought the energy was fun. To your point, Patrick, Gwen's mouth when she starts rolling, it's funny. It is kind of that comedic relief. When her and the Barb character get into it, I was cracking up.
Yes.
You know, especially when they make Barb to be out this like highly Christian person, and it was comical. You know, the points that were missed that Noah and I talked about afterwards, and Noah can elaborate on this, but I think some of the screenplay was pretty weak. You know, how they got stuck up there in the first place. What was some of the stuff we talked about at the end? No, I'm blanking.
I mean, some of it for me was just it's it's unfortunately a side effect of just how you have to market this stuff. We know from every single trailer we saw, oh shit, they go to this camp and the grabber shows up. And then we take a fucking hour and 10 minutes to kind of get to the setup that we know is coming. Um, I personally, I don't want to spoil all this because I know I mean, it was a huge hit. It was a huge hit. My biggest issue with it was the double-edged sword of bringing these kids back. A decision I was super excited about when it was announced, and I was like, I love that we're continuing with the characters. I love that they didn't do a recast. I'm really interested to see where this goes. I say double-edged sword because I think to take the movie where they wanted to take it, or where I thought they were going to take it, you know, again, we all just want another Nightmare on Elm Street. Um, in an effort to get there, unfortunately, because it's anchored to the first movie and these kids and their family and their backstory and their lore and all of this. Unfortunately, there's a decision made to me that's kind of like it's weird to say you're retconning your own story. I mean, I know it's a Joe Hill short story, but it's like it's still them writing the screenplay. It's Derrickson and Cargill, right?
Yeah.
But it's weird I don't know. I feel like they retconned some things in a way that did not work for me and felt very like, I wish we'd just maybe we shouldn't have held on to these characters. Maybe it should have just gone for this like new supernatural bent that it wanted to move. I don't want to say too much. I still recommend people going to see it. I was just a little let down based on what I thought we were getting.
Maybe
was a lot
sometimes
of
characters
fun.
don't need interactivity in the past.
Yes, that's kind of my thing.
Yes.
It's part of the Marvelification and the Star Warsification of everything, where it's just like, guys, like you can just tell like one story. Not everything has to be, oh, but actually there's this secret thing you didn't know about that changes everything. We don't have to do that all the fucking time.
No, I completely agree. When we talked about that afterwards, no, it made a lot of sense. And when we chatted, I was like, man, they built a great universe. They could have just used that platform to do other stories.
I think there's still a way, given how successful this one was. I think they're still going to find a way to get us to 3. It may be clunky, but maybe it'll ultimately be kind of what I wanted this to be. We can move along from Black Phone 2. Any other recent watches anybody wants to throw out there, or Rex, before we dive into what we're here to do?
I got one. I don't know if this is controversial after how everybody felt about this one. I watched The Long Walk last night with Sam.
Oh, dude. Fuck yes.
Yeah, okay. Listen, maybe I fucking love Stephen King. I absolutely love Stephen King. I've read many books, listened to many audiobooks, all the Stephen King things. I'm like one of the first people who's going to be ready to consume what comes out of that. I was mildly disappointed by The Long Walk.
You're
wrong.
You're the odd man out here with Barham, myself, and Alex.
That's fine. That's fine. And there's probably some things that play into that too. But like I think the way that the movie builds, it's like there can't be breaks while you're watching it. I think that's probably also something that's important. Like when you have a little kid in the house, like I just paid for the $20 watching.
See that.
And so there was like 2 instances where we had to like break for like 5 minutes. And I remember telling Sam mid-movie, I was like, hey, listen, this might be killing the momentum of the movie a little bit.
You stop walking is what happens. You stop.
Can't stop walking. You stop walking, you fucking get your ticket punched. But I thought that there were some pretty good performances. Like the guy from Industry, I always forget his name, and he was the new alien Romulus. What's his name? I cannot remember that guy's name.
David Johnson.
He's fucking great. I thought like because when I watched the trailer, I thought that the accent was gonna suck. And I was like, dude, this is gonna be unwatchable for me when I initially heard his like version of kind of a southern accent. But when I watched the movie, like it actually it did not irk me at all. I thought it was fine. And I thought he was pretty damn good, as he is in basically everything I've ever seen him in. And then like my favorite is the Romulus performance is fucking unreal. But um and then the other dude he's in Warfare as well. He's what's that guy's name?
That's a
Coop, Coop,
Hoffman, buddy.
Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son.
No shit, I did
Yeah,
fucking
from
had no
from
fucking
from
idea.
Licorice Pizza.
No, you can
Yeah,
see
no,
it once
I
you hear
love
it, right?
And
Licorice Pizza.
I don't think he's in Warfare, bud. I think you're thinking of
Oh, I'm thinking of
Gandolfini's son, who is in
because I thought
Warfare.
Gandalf,
No,
dude,
he's also
I
thinking
thought it
about the
was
dude from Heartbreaker or Heartstopper,
yeah,
the redhead.
yeah. Well, he's fantastic in Licorice
But
Pizza
yeah,
as well.
Cooper Hoffman has been in Licorice Pizza and the Saturday Night movie, the Saturday Night Live, like first night of
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live, which I didn't see, but apparently he's great in that as well. Um,
Kit Connors, who you're thinking of, who somewhat resembles.
Oh no, I absolutely see what you're saying. Yes, Kit Connor from who is in Warfare, they're almost doppelgangers for each other. Yes,
That
never
okay,
mind.
okay, that because that was for me. I was like, dude, I gotta fucking
Yeah.
come to
No, sorry. I thought you were doing the son confusion because Michael Gandolfini, James
is
Gandolfini's son, is in Warfare. Yes.
well, yeah. They're all like they're all like
Both the sons of
roughly the same
incredible,
size with
iconic
similar
actors
features.
who were
Have
stole,
famous dads.
taken from us too soon.
Yeah,
Uh,
listen, and they're all yeah, and they're all really talented. Anyway, I thought like there's good performances in it. Sometimes my thing with Stephen King stuff is when I'm like reading one of his books or listening to one of the audio, I feel like some of the dialogue doesn't read as true. That's always been my thing with Stephen King. It's the same thing with like for me that my always nitpick with Star Wars is that like the dialogue sometimes in the original three just doesn't sound like the way people actually talk. So it's just like for me, I don't know
That's
for
an
whatever reason.
era thing. Like I feel like that's a time period because I mean this was also Stephen King's first written novel. Like so, this would have been like late '60s when he actually wrote it. So I feel like that's just kind of a
but I
product
mean,
of the era.
He
weird,
wrote it as Bachman, and he wrote as Bachman. It was like his alter ego who kind of is like allowed to stray a little darker than maybe some of his other stories and all these other things. And you got to keep in mind too that like Stephen King's not a guy who hasn't experienced life, right? Like there were times where he wrote books where he was so high on cocaine and so drunk that he barely remembers writing Cujo. You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
that just so it's not like he's afraid of dirty like bad language. For me, it's just some of the bad language doesn't read as true. It feels like it's almost like cleaned up a little bit. Anyway,
I
that
hear
those
you,
are
and like I get that because it does take me out of it reading his stuff sometimes.
I'm
But
saying
I
that's
always just
just a
attribute it
runner
to the
through
period.
through all of his
Like
shit though, is the like weird, you know, the idiosyncratic cursing, the
if you were on
like the way he
mescaline in a
phonetically
theater,
spells
it would
out
make
stuff, the way
sense.
it's like the way you would for a screenplay when you were like trying to give a line reading of how something would
right.
read, like when he misspells something intentionally, stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's one of those like some people like meld to the King thing better than others in terms of like translating it into a movie. Some people go like full board for like, hey, maybe this is what people like about it. We should be as like faithful as possible.
Right.
And then there's other people who are like, okay, maybe this is a little clunky. Let's move away from it. I kind of just like I was like, yes, it's sound it felt and sounded like a Stephen King story. That's
And that
also kind of what I signed up for. So I
right,
was
right. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
And with that said, I probably got halfway through the audiobook and I ended up moving on to something else. But before that, I saw the movie and I felt like the movie was very, very accurate a bit, compared to the book. Anyway, so I just maybe that's the thing that I brush up against with some of the dialogue and some of that kind of stuff. And that for me, for whatever reason, that kind of stuff will take me out of a movie faster than anything if it doesn't feel real, if the conversation doesn't feel real. That just I feel like takes me out of it. Anyway, that's
I didn't
I'll
have
stop.
that with The Long Walk, but I will say that my favorite Stephen King adaptation is The Shining, and I know that he notoriously fucking hates it. So I will agree with it. Like sometimes that adaptation is it's tricky to do that, and I don't know if
When
you
I
really like. For me, like I said, The Shining I think works on its own thing, but it feels very naturalistic because of the performances in it and the way. I mean,
There are
bring
far
Shelley
too
was
many
never the
dissolves
same.
in that movie.
Let
But
let's not litigate this right now, Patrick. Patrick
can I
famously hates The Shining, by the way.
I
can I
just
can I bring
watched it.
another
I
one
would
up
love to
that
discuss
I
that
think
at a
that
later
is
time.
probably
I would
not.
love to
Can I bring up a
discuss that.
Stephen King one that I think is not celebrated as much as it should be? Has everyone
Please.
seen The Storm of the Century, the TV?
Yeah.
Okay, dude, for
Nope.
me, The Storm of the Century is one of the well, I love The Stand as well, but in terms of
Which
like
which The Stand?
no, the old one, the
Okay, that's fair. Good.
1991.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that shit. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's one of my favorite like mini series of all time. That and then Storm of the Century, like some of the best King adaptations, I think. I mean, up there with obviously Shawshank and this, and I mean, um, the adaptation of the body, Stand by Me, all those things are like there's so many good Stephen King adaptations. That's just why I guess I went into the long walk with these like
Oh,
massive expectations that could not possibly be lived up to unless they're one of those kind of they deliver like that. Or there's the 1990 it is an 89 or 90 the old it. I think
It
it's
is 90 or 91. I can't remember which.
I
It took
think
me
that's
forever to see it because I had play rehearsals the night it aired.
the
Like I didn't end
it,
up seeing it till the 2000s.
and what do you think of that? So I will say that that's the one exception I will say to where like the dialogue is very Stephen King-esque, but it does not bother me.
Uh,
I
it's very Stephen. The couching works in that it works really well for the kids because it's very nostalgic. And if you
100%
already
agree with
have
that.
unrealistic dialogue in a nostalgic setting, it sells.
Fine, it's
Uh,
fine.
the adults just come off a little stilted.
I completely agree. That's the word. That's the only part that's weak in that whole thing is the adult part. I still like go along because the kid part's so strong, and
Yeah.
I felt the same way with the remake as well. But
Any other recent watches anybody wants to shout out before we get into it?
I mean, I've been working through the Nightmares on 4K, and I finally got to Freddy's Dead.
Did you have to buy them individually, or is there a full-on collection of
It's a full-on
everything?
collection now.
Does it go up through Freddy
It
versus
goes up
Jason?
through it goes through through New Nightmare.
Okay.
Uh, but I finally got to see the part in 3D. Like this has been the Arctober of 3D. I saw Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. I saw Freddy's Dead, the end section in 3D. It's the blue and red, uh, but it was like the best blue and red 3D I've ever seen.
It's still pretty solid on the DVD. I have the original. I think it's actually stolen from Gavin, but I have the Nightmare DVD box set, and yeah, it's got the red and blue. I went back and rewatched the original, uh, and then two auto played afterwards. So I watched kind of a chunk of that before I went to the movies. I think that was the night I saw Roof Man, not Arctober related, but really good movie, really charming. Highly recommend it. And then when I came back, four was on,
Okay.
so I watched a little bit of that too. But yeah, they were just auto playing on Max. But yeah,
Like so far on the 4Ks, like they are gorgeous. Like if I were to go back renting these on VHS and just imagining, I could not imagine how good these look back
yeah,
then ever. And it's been great. It's like watching them for the first time
I'm,
for
I
the
might
100th time.
I might have to pick that up, which sounds insane because there's literally like three movies I like in that box set. Well, I guess four. I have a really soft spot for two now, and four is Rennie Harlan.
Yeah.
I kind of like that one too. Shit. I think I turned around
Should have
somehow over the
known.
last several years and just like became a huge Elm Street fan, like after never really being for a long time.
Yeah.
Always loved the first one, always liked Dream Warriors, but yeah, man. Let me see if I have any new ones that you guys might want me to pull up my letterboxed.
hey, while
I will
you're
say,
looking,
just as
I
a
had a question. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Baron, you first, good sir.
oh no, I was just gonna say as a it's not really a new watch, but I got to watch it for the first time in a long time because I've been trying to find it on streaming for the last like year and a half. Um, but I recently watched Noah's Blu-ray of Young Frankenstein, and I just want to
So
shout that
good.
out because it is, especially being deprived of it. Like I remember specifically trying to find it with friends of mine last October to watch it, and it was not available anywhere.
Raul Lucha.
There's even on the Blu-ray, the DVD, on the menu, there's a button. You can press a button called the Blue Cup button, and just make the horses fucking go. Like
What the? I haven't even. I've had that
All right,
box set
that's
for a
amazing.
while, and I have
it's
not. I have not
incredible.
thrown that one on. I did not. I was not
But
aware.
God, it was just such a treat to be able to watch it, and then also to just the little special features. There's a couple deleted scenes that are you can see why they got cut, but I mean, still, it's
Dude,
it's
Mel
just
Brooks.
yeah, it's great. It's just one of those like,
He's
okay,
just
yeah,
one
the movie did fine
like
without this, but
he is like there will I don't know there will never
Spaceballs
be.
2 coming. It's happening.
Oh fuck yeah,
God
dude.
damn.
Moranis is in it. Hey,
It's like
so
90 something.
the question I had was so there's some of the things that we wrote down. So I still want to watch Ghost Watch. I was able to find that for I'm able to rent that if I need to. Whisper in the
I
Dark.
watched that. I checked it out from my university's library. It was solid.
Awesome.
Do we get
Very
another
solid.
cosign? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That was one of my top ones to watch. The other one was Whisper in the Darkness from Gavin. I looked for that one first. I could not fucking find it anywhere. I looked like on every single app on multiple TVs. I could not find it.
You
That
couldn't
was the
find it
one I
on.
wanted.
Couldn't find it on Tubi, bro. I think that's a Tubi
No,
movie.
so I was on Tubi, could not find it on Tubi.
Okay.
I know
And
it
then the
was
other
on
one was
YouTube at one point.
Yeah. When in doubt, go to YouTube. When in doubt,
okay. I'll check it out. I'll check that
YouTube.
one because that was one I wanted to watch the most. And Ghost Watch, and then the other one was Near Dark. I had wanted. I couldn't find that on anything either, which I was surprised by because that's like
Yeah.
man,
Near Dark is always, migrates off of streaming for like 9 months, and then all of a sudden you see it for like, it'll be out in like February
I've seen a
for a
piece of
month, and
Near
then it'll
Dark. I've just
disappear
never
again.
finished it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what anyway.
Um.
Let's see if you guys could navigate me to the correct place to watch this, but I guess it is what it is.
But yeah. Well, double check with Gav because he might have different info. But I think that one was super low budget Lovecraft, right? Is that what he?
It was a Lovecraft one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking YouTube probably. I just wanted to say I finally cleared like a huge blind spot, at least in my mind, for this season. I finally watched Sleepaway Camp for the first time, and I
I'm
had a
hurt.
that I hadn't seen it already.
Yes, I had no clue.
Yeah, I know that sounds ridiculous, right? I had a really good time. It was
Forgot about that
This
movie.
is a good movie. Yeah. If you've never seen it, go watch Sleepaway Camp. That sounds redundant, I'm sure, for anybody that's actually listening to this. But yeah,
Wait, am I remembering the right movie? Is that like
don't.
80s?
Yes, don't. You don't have
Yeah.
to spoil the.
No, I
You know,
did you I heard about it on the How Did This Get Made.
that's exactly what you're thinking. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No. God,
it's
that
that
was an
movie.
incredible movie. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say anything about it, but
yeah.
incredible.
The
I
kills are
mean,
memorable. The
you can
perform.
totally say one
It's
thing, like it's got Darth Vader's father in it.
It does. It does. It has some incredibly memorable kills. The summer camp vibes. The like specificity of the era and the fact that it's like locally made. It's one of the strangest movies I've ever seen, but it's so
Honestly, though,
compelling. Um,
for a camp horror, I would say better than the first couple of fucking Friday the
I
13th.
mean,
Honestly.
in my personal opinion, I was like, this is kind of, yeah,
It
this
also
is
it
what I
also hits
always
it hits
wish those
camp
were.
too. Like
Oh
it
There's a
yeah,
lot
feels
of
it,
like
camp in
camp.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
very
mean, I've
enjoyable.
never really been a camp kid. We did our like little field trips where we do like a weekend and when we were in like fifth grade. But I was never a camp kid. So I have nothing to compare it to. But I'm like, feels very naturalistic, I think, because of again, its weird time and placeness and all of that. Also, the score rocks and that final song, like the Angela's theme or
Yeah.
whatever. Earwormy, dude. Earwormy.
And the actors are fun to drink with.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was gonna say you've probably met some of these people.
Yes. I spent one night at a con drinking with Angela and her cousin.
Very cool. I hear she's a good time, and
Oh,
she's
she
like
is. She
she's
is.
a convention regular. Yeah. All
Yep.
right. So yeah, that was my one big blind spot.
Okay.
glad I finally checked it out. I guess we got 6 people. Gavin will be on here eventually. We have been rambling for quite some time. But let's get into it. We're here to discuss what are the new horror icons, the Mount Rushmore, if you will. If we're theoretically saying that the former Mount Rushmore is you're Michael, you're Freddy, you're Jason, and until the 90s, you could have argued maybe it's Leatherface, maybe it's Pinhead, you know, as like an established franchise, an iconic villain.
Wait,
But then when you hit
sorry,
the 90s, you do get Ghostface, which I think is like that's the fourth on the prior Mount
Not a
Rushmore.
single villain.
We're not having this debate on mic. We had it in the group chat. We're not relitigating it. Okay.
wait,
So
I listen, I'm sorry. I gotta always ask a criteria question, not to nitpick, but so are we looking for something that because I thought we were looking for like I thought the question was just like all-time great villains. It can be a one-off in a name your random one movie if you think it's like one of the best villains. Or does it have to be something that is repeatable, like
it
his
does
has made
not
multiple?
does not have to be tied to a franchise. The only parameters were we were sticking with our 25 for 25, where
Okay.
the parameters are 2000 forward. So again, new. We don't want to go with any established. That's why I specifically bring up franchises, is because like essentially any franchise that existed prior, even if it extended into the 2000s, it's off the table. Like, you know, basically to eliminate a lot of the obvious
I
picks
like
and
it.
so that we can kind of, yeah. So the idea was everybody comes up with it. Everybody has at least like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
a backup in case they get mentioned. But everybody's going to throw a couple noms around. We'll kick it all around, but we're kind of trying to narrow it down to 4. What are the 4? But yeah, you can get creative. You can pitch weird shit. Literally, somebody raised their hand. Who wants to go first? I can't wait to
I just
hear
want to point out that Brendan needs to start preempting the text message like he dropped in the chat with like a "Hey boys, spoiler alert, my list will be this." It
it.
just
He was
it
just
really
trying to give
fucked with
good
me.
fodder to like
No,
everybody for like, hey, these are your options. Like,
no,
hey,
listen,
in
it
case
was
you're
an
having trouble
excellent
of thinking of some things, here's like five
listen,
or six movies
here
you could
are
go with.
4 or 5 excellent examples that will probably be no, just kidding. But what I was gonna say about that was is I it forced me to think about things that were not those things because I would say at least 2 or 3 of those would have been immediately on my top of the list. So I tried to go outside of what Brendan said. Let those things come up organically, and I'm sure they will. But anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Oh,
Brendan,
then I should go first since I was not a part of that, so I can
A-
spoil that right off the
perfect.
bat.
Absolutely. Yes. Who you're nominating, Patrick?
Jigsaw.
Like,
Oh, fucking
I
great.
mean,
That's a
seems
great
like,
that's a great one.
I mean, I think if we were doing a draft, it's like that, that's the answer. That's
Yeah, he's
like
the
for,
Derrick Henry of
for
running. He's the Derrick
most.
Henry of
See, I
yeah.
don't know what that means, but I'm gonna assume that means what I think it means. Yeah, like I think that's the answer, truly. Whether I want it to be or not,
Yeah.
like,
Minus all the
yeah,
fumbles.
That's the whole. That's no. You said that. I don't want it to be, but I think that is the answer.
I mean,
Yeah.
he had to get mentioned,
Yeah.
and he's
I
in the
mean,
running
the
now.
first for sure. It would be hard to say no to that one.
Did everyone see Saw 10? Was it Saw X, Saw 10 or whatever?
It's the
Whatever
only
the
one I haven't seen yet.
yeah, fucking kind of great. I just
Wait,
like
okay, so that's Saw X you're saying, but then there Jigsaw is after that,
okay,
or
maybe
are
or
you
Well,
saying Jigsaw, the flashback, he goes to Mexico, his origin movie?
that's the one. That's the one.
That's just
I
called
love
Jigsaw, right?
okay, that's Jigsaw. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, because
So
I
I
think
that's
can't
that's
remember.
Jigsaw.
that's the technically the 12th movie, is that correct?
Well, if you count Spiral.
Well, it's from the Book of Saw,
Yeah.
lest we forget.
It sounds like you have to count it.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly. It's part of the
This
unless
sounds
canon.
I
so
didn't see the
wild.
Chris
I've
Rock
seen
one.
like the first
Spiral's
movie
Chris Rock one,
once,
right?
maybe.
Yes,
Yeah,
one of the worst movies I have ever seen.
it was pretty. It
I
was
haven't
pretty
One of
seen
the
bad.
that.
worst movies I've ever
Okay,
sat through.
Yeah,
the Jigsaw one where in Mexico is
I,
actually awesome.
I hear
I
good
thought.
things. I hear good
I
things.
thought. So,
A complicated man who likes to make uh, puzzles of death, and
while he's also dying of cancer, so
yes,
he's
dying and reborn and reincarnated in several proxies and all sorts of stuff.
which
Yeah.
kind of makes him the ultimate character for this 25 years because we don't have a whole lot of like undying villains like we did from previous generations. Am I right? Like that's why it's such a great pick. I fucking
Fair.
totally forgot. Totally forgot
Oh, yeah.
about
All
Jigsaw.
right,
Anyway,
so Mr. Jigsaw is on the table. We can
I'm
discuss
gonna.
him further if need be. Sorry, Brendan, do you want to jump in?
No, I was just saying Patrick setting the bar high there. That one was pretty hot.
Well, you go ahead and try and top it.
Oh, I
just
don't
say,
know if I can, but
Who you
I'm
nominating?
gonna come in with a couple I think that might not be thought of necessarily as straight
Not
villains like you and I were talking about.
okay. Not a
Uh,
couple. Again, you're just saying one. Just to be clear, unless it's multiple people, but you're just saying one
keep it
for
on
right
the
now.
rails, Noah. Keep it on-
so so this whole time, are we gonna do one a person or two a person? 'Cause I thought we were doing two a person.
We are, but not like we're trying to keep
And
the rotation going. You know?
not
One at a
secession.
time.
So
Yes.
yeah, gathered that. I would say I'm gonna start with my low ball first. I'm gonna go with Death from Final Destination. That was definitely in the text messages that we were
Kind of
chatting
sick.
about.
Kind of a sick pick.
I do
And,
kind of love
and,
it.
and Patrick are
Good
probably
pick.
like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, man, like Death is chasing them in every Final Destination movie.
It's
Death could
definitely
be
a
the ultimate
conscious
villain.
being.
Death
If we
It's a
think of
conscious
Hey,
being.
Death undefeated.
Death,
Death
totally
undefeated.
Unfortunately,
Death is
the only
undefeated.
undefeated villain.
Brendan, unfortunately, death has been around before the 2000s. So I think
Well,
Like,
you know,
like
it's
since the
crazy.
first organism.
It's a crazy concept that they
But
introduced to
the
us.
physical manifestation of Death stalking people in an
Stalking.
order in which basically Death getting revenge on like you think you can outdo me? No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
systematically like this is the way you would have died.
It's
I
so
mean, he
petty
did that.
too.
Like
It's
in
so
Meet
petty.
Joe Black, he took on the form of Brad Pitt.
Oh shit, that's
One.
99.
Uh,
You're
Honestly,
right.
that's my
Oh,
favorite
shit.
version of Death. Love that movie. I
Also,
know
wouldn't call it horror.
Meet Joe Black is great. Meet Joe Black is great.
You said
But
you
yeah,
wouldn't call
I think
Final Destination horror, Baron?
Listen,
No,
do you
I'm
think
saying I
the
wouldn't
Death
call
in
Meet Joe
Final
Black
Destination also loves peanut butter? That would be my that would be my question.
I love this. Again, I encourage the creativity, like by all means. But yeah, sustained a giant franchise. It's back now, bigger than ever. Now it's
the
gonna
new one was
spawn a bunch
great.
of other
Bloodlines
ones,
was
and
awesome.
probably we'll be sick of it again in like a year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I had such a good time
It'll
with
be a good
Bloodlines.
year.
But yeah, okay. Uh, who wants to jump in, guys? Raise your hand.
All right, I'm gonna throw one
All
out
right,
here.
go
This
for it.
one is gonna really fucking kill the vibe. We got two strong picks up front, but I'm just gonna tell you this one because I think that he is making his career comeback as a villain. And since The Undoing on HBO, if anyone hasn't seen it, go see it. Hugh Jackman, or not Hugh Jackman, fucking Hugh Grant as excuse me, also a villain, but for different reasons. No, just kidding. Because nobody likes musicals. But Mr. Reed from Heretic, if anyone hasn't seen Heretic, I think that guy is like the most pathetic, just like I don't know, but as a villain, by the end of that movie, I thought that he was my favorite. He fucks with your mind. I had no idea where anything was going. I was just trying to pick something new that wasn't going to be one of the standard ones. I have a couple
Yeah,
other here on this, but
definitely outside the box. Great performance. Has everybody seen Heretic?
I have not. No.
I haven't yet.
Gotcha.
It's one of those where I keep scrolling past it on the streamers. And I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just gonna go to bed.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know this far into October, like if it would scratch that itch. I wouldn't say it's like horror with a capital H, but it's definitely worth checking out at some point. I do highly recommend it. And the Hugh Grant performance, I mean, the the girls are great in it, but
fantastic. Yeah,
um but it's a showcase for him, and like all the twists and turns of where he takes that, I mean, yeah, it kind of rests on his shoulders, and
so
very
for
interesting
me,
character.
it was like so if anyone didn't see The Undoing, it's an HBO miniseries about a doctor who's accused of murder. I think it's in New York or Chicago, one of the major cities. And he's doing the Hugh Grant thing where he's like super charming, and obviously like nobody thinks he has done it, and but like he's still, the evidence is not against him, and that's that premise of the show. And just like he's kind of the bad guy in the show, obviously, but then he rolls it right into this. And like the premise of the movie, for anyone who doesn't know, is two Mormon girls are kind of going door to door doing their like trying to meet folks and do their pitch and kind of like get them interested in the Book of Mormon, blah blah blah, or whatever. So these girls show up, they meet him in his like living room, and then he essentially lures them deeper and deeper into a house that has many nooks and crannies. And then he is essentially trying to get them to maybe or maybe not believe in their version of God or whatever. That's the premise of the movie. He's amazing in it. So I don't know what to say other than that, but like I guess it kind of can't get any backers if no one else has seen it. But anyway, go watch it.
Well,
I think you can stream it on HBO.
he's on the table, and Gavin may have seen it, so we'll discuss it down the road. Um, Barum or Alex?
Alex?
Yeah. I'm going to bring it back to someone I think is more of a staple. Definitely terrified all of us in our youths. And I guess this is a technicality, I think, because the American version, Samara Morgan from The Ring, came out in 2002. But do we count the character from Ringu? And I think that's the sticking point. But if we don't, I think she's got to be on the list.
I mean, the J horror invasion of the early 2000s is like
A
a
thing, and
very
it's a
unique
yeah,
era unto itself.
yeah,
And it doesn't really start until like 2001, 2002.
yeah.
Um, I mean, guys, I'm opening up to the table. Like, how do you guys feel? Like, does it qualify? What are the regulations on a remake? Given that I will say, having seen the original TV version of The Ring, which is based on like the Japanese TV version of it from '95, which is more directly based on the book, I believe that's the source material. I've also seen Ringu, of course. And I will say the different incarnations of Sadako, or like how she's even presented in those two properties, are very different characters from, you know, Samara Morgan that's presented in the American version of The Ring. I'm fine with allowing it, but if you guys say nay, we can say nay, and he can go to a backup.
I'm into
Yeah,
it.
I would say nay. I didn't even hear who put it out there, but I mean, we discussed this in the text group where it's like, all right, well, the Scream, oh my gosh, the Scream movies, this franchise had copycat after copycat. Can we do one from the 2000s because we can't do the one from the 90s? It's like, no, dude, like that villain's done.
But those are
That villain's done.
copycats in universe.
Hate. Someone go put
That's a
water in
copycat
Buck
in
Nest's
universe.
mama's dish.
I'm getting
No.
denounced by the person who put death on the table.
It met the parameters.
Isn't death just a copycat of other deaths? Isn't it just a Rube Goldberg copycat? What are we talking about here?
I
Samara
mean,
Morgan, different character.
Final Destination came out in 2000. That was when Death, as we know it, as that franchise, when it was introduced as a villain.
Yes, again, this is why it's weird territory, I'm saying, because we're literally talking about a remake that like changes character names and changes plot and backstory, and like is its own, while following the basic plot structure, has still some different narrative thrusts than the original film. And it's the first American exposure. Like, a lot of us didn't even know
What the
had
ring
no
was.
awareness of Ringu when The Ring came out.
I think it should
If
be.
anything, we were more like, this is like the new Sixth Sense. That's like what we were thinking. That's
It
how it was
fucked all of us up
presented.
when we were like 12 years old when we saw that movie for the first
My
That's the
time.
mom
thing.
still talks about that girl coming
Listen,
out of the TV.
It's
You know?
terrifying. It is
it's
absolutely.
whether it fucked us up or not, which it did, doesn't meet the parameters of what's been asked.
Yeah, it's a remake. It's a different character. It's just based on another thing. I mean,
That means
Patrick, you seem
Ghostface
like a
would actually
level-headed
qualify.
individual. What do you think on it?
That would
Uh,
qualifies him.
I mean, I gotta go with The Room. I feel like it's there. Like,
It's iconic enough
You
that
don't have to go with The Room. You can.
You can't even sketch Death's face on Mount Rushmore. It's a stupid
It
choice.
would be an empty.
Think
space.
about that
That's what
comment. You actually
Think about
can
what you
sketch
just.
death all over Mount Rushmore.
it's already there. No, I'm fine with it because, like, I didn't know about. I didn't even know it was a remake until like the press hit. Like, I was like, oh, this is great. Also, I love the fact that cell phones were a thing. So while the movie was playing, I snuck off into the kitchen of my girlfriend's apartment to call her roommate's cell phone. Man, she hit the ceiling.
Many a
7
prank
days.
exists because this movie came out. We all, unhooked the cable box from someone's TV.
I'm almost.
Is there
I'm
a time
almost.
limit in Smile? Is there a time limit in Smile? Does everyone remember? Like I know, like when, like once you
I think
see it,
she's in the first one. I think it is similar to like it typically happens over the course of a week or something similar.
so we can say that it was influential and that it set like a time, like a boundary on time for like basically your time is running out. Anyway, I don't know. That's the only
Yeah.
other thing I thought about where that comes up again.
Again, Brendan, by all means, when hopefully Gavin joins us in a bit and we're like debating the final round, like you can definitely use that as your argument line to like disqualify it. But I think for now, it's at least in consideration. We're not eliminated from consideration.
Brendan, I'm
We
not
gotta put
attacking you
Ghostface in there
personally.
because,
I'm just
that's
attacking
the
your
most iconic.
ideas.
It's
Okay,
okay to
Bear-
attack him personally.
Barum, did you
I'm just
Barum, did
saying,
you
hey,
go?
man.
I have not gone.
Okay, let's get you, and then I'll go, and then we'll do another round and see if Gav shows up.
All right. Well, my number two pick would be maybe a little controversial. From the Cabin in the Woods, I would say the uh, the Stoner and the Virgin are in fact the villains, and you could include that little class of Japanese girls too, because the Japanese girls never knew that they were a sacrifice. They never figured that out. But the Stoner and the Virgin knew. They figured it out what was going on, and rather than accepting that they were a sacrifice that was necessary, they have doomed the world to the release of the old ones, which is arguably much worse than anything that was being done to them.
All right, that's an excellent choice.
The Stoner and the Virgin from Cabin in the Woods. Did not see it coming. Love it. Love it.
It's all about like what's the worst evil on the big scale, really.
I mean, they do doom
Barum,
the entire
dude,
world.
I fucking love that.
They do doom the entire world.
Yeah, just for principles. Like, I mean, I would do a lot of shit on principle, but dooming the entire world to some unknown like ancient evil is not necessarily one of those.
Yeah, that one beat the death as a villain cleverness. And now who will top that? Will anyone top that?
I will not be nearly as clever. Mine are pretty by the numbers. We do have two picks, so I think I'm gonna go with this one just for interesting sake, and then I'll save my number one. So this is actually number two on my list. I made a list of about 13. But I'm gonna go again. You guys might think this one needs a caveat. I don't think so. I'm gonna go with Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Now we're talking.
Like,
Because I like that it's a single movie and it's like
One of the most iconic performances
in
of
like,
a
dude,
serial killer
in the
in this
same
era.
way, yeah, dude, 100%. In the same way that it's iconic in the same way that like if a guy looks at you and quotes like The Big Lebowski, you know he's cool. The alternate side of that is if a guy looks at you and says, "Hey, I got to return some videotapes," you know that that guy's cool. I mean,
Or
kind of
really
like,
not cool. Or
or,
really,
or
really not
really not.
cool. One of two things.
Huey Lewis in the news, man. That's it.
I mean,
Brendan?
here, Noah, and say,
Brendan, sorry,
if
we
this
lost
was
you
all,
for. Okay,
if
go
this
ahead.
was all in his head, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was gonna say the argument would be if this was potentially all in his head, can we say he was truly a villain if he never actually enacted any of it?
Did you see what happened to the country in 2008? I would say that he is certainly, those guys are certainly villains. I mean, it's like a special type of villain, just because you don't kill anyone, but you cause a lot of pain and suffering. Are you still a villain? I mean, I would think so.
And
Anyway,
regardless of whether you think any of it was in his head, it was all in his head, or some of it was and some of it wasn't, or this or that, we still see him indulging, like either
I
in
mean,
his mind or actually acting out all of this
it's also
terrible stuff.
like
So,
the most famous, like I think, example of a sociopath that isn't a serial killer is like, that guy and all of his
it's the
coworkers.
brilliance.
yeah.
It's the brilliance
Yeah.
of that movie is the brilliance of that movie, and so unsettling is that people like this are literally among us at all times and navigating the world adeptly, and they're
And
not necessarily killing folks.
Yeah, and
how thin that
also,
line is of do they do it or not? Like,
well, and also the world he's existing in and how utterly oblivious it is. Like he's almost desperate to get caught at a certain point and just it cannot. Like nobody, he's so anonymous essentially that like he can't even, he can't
And
even
Yeah,
they
reach out.
I'm at war with myself about this because I knee jerked said Ring was allowed because it's a remake. I mean, it's an adaptation from a book that was written prior to 2000.
Yeah, absolutely. But we never saw it actualized in film as a filmic cinematic entity until
Oh, I agree, but
yeah,
it's that I have a minor sticking point in that. Okay, if if I allow the Ring, I have to allow this, even though they are based on previous media,
absolutely.
But if it makes
and
you
it
feel
kind of
better,
hurts.
Patrick, we don't read.
That
I
that's
mean,
that's not true. I heard talks about Stephen King earlier, but
I mean,
you don't
I
have to read
Evan
to read Stephen
specifically
King.
said he listens to the audiobooks.
not the same, not the same as reading, not the same as reading.
Okay,
But I'm gonna
okay.
claim it like it is.
you can still say you've read something if you've listened to it because it's
This
just
is
way
where
too
this
clunky
great
to say the
divide. I
alternative.
believe you cannot say you read it if you listen to it. That's my personal belief. But
I
okay,
still
so
log it on Goodreads.
again, we'll say asterisks on that and on Samara, like asterisks. It's
And
cool.
on
It's
death
cool.
because of principle.
well, I
We
just
need
think
sour.
I
It's
don't
all
know.
death.
Patrick Bateman is like, and here's the funniest thing too, is that he's like mildly celebrated at the same time for being like honest, if you will. But it's like
hmm
almost like people miss the fucking point. I mean, you see it all over Instagram all the time, all the Patrick Bateman stuff. Anyway,
I mean, I
and
would
I
argue
fucking love.
that's a huge like problem with a lot of like iconic villains, so to
Yeah.
speak. Like the iconography of the Joker over the last like decade is kind of just like
or
what the
or
fuck?
Leo in Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it's
it's
like
like you're attracted to the wrong part here.
yeah.
you have totally missed the boat on what was intended by all this anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, great fucking villain.
So I think the order roughly was Patrick first. Is that
Yeah.
right? So yeah, back around to Patrick.
Yes.
Okay. It is one option, but it is a trio. The Devil's Rejects.
Oh,
Gotta be on there.
Yeah.
Gotta be on there. Here comes Gavin. Excuse me, here comes Gavin, out of his coffin. He finally found his way out. He found the exit. He's coming on the line.
Hello.
I had a tooth pulled at the dentist yesterday, so it hurts to speak sometimes, but I am still here for all of you.
Your fangs have been clipped.
So that means you can only suck blood from one side of your mouth?
Basically, that is all I can do now. It is terrible.
Okay, Gab. So actually, before we start the next round with Patrick's pick, hold on. Let's get your villain. Who are you nominating? And if it's already been said, we'll let you know.
I'm pretty sure it's already been said, but whatever is following you and it follows.
Has not been said yet.
Has not been said.
The entity.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yes, I think we're calling it the entity.
The shape-shifting supernatural. Well, I gotta think of a new one.
Death's cousin. It is.
I'm gonna say
terrifying.
of everything that's been said thus far, I don't know how everybody else feels. This one should lock in a slot almost immediately.
Yeah, I would lock in a top 3 slot probably, I would say.
Like, it's definitely. Are we all cool with putting this on the mountain? Like,
this is on the mountain, dude.
Do we want to vote on this?
Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh,
a dissenting opinion.
What?
There may be, like, I love It Follows. I watch it biannually, and I say that meaning once every other year, not twice a year. But it's so good, and I don't know, like, are there 4 more iconic villains? And I think the answer may be yes. That doesn't mean like
slow?
in good movies. I think there's villains that are more iconic that are in much worse movies multiple times, but are in the zeitgeist at a higher level.
For sure.
Devil's advocate here.
That's a fair
Is
argument.
it because it's too slow? Is it too slow? Is that the problem?
The entity?
Yes.
I mean, I can't measure its speed.
But I'm asking, is that, like, theoretically, is the thing that makes it not?
Its cardio is great. It never stops.
No, I know, but it's like the long walk. This thing's always walking at 3 miles an hour, and that's about it. And it's like, dude, I could easily build enough time to keep jumping around the globe to
You
get
still got to worry your entire life. I don't know. I will give it credit that, like, that whole, like, trend of you get chased by the poison snail for your entire life.
One trip to Thailand and no one knows where that thing's going. You know?
Yeah, if you get a little "Only God Forgives" in there, then who knows what happens?
Oh God.
Only God follows, dude. Only God follows.
God follows.
The next predator alien. Just merge those puppies together for a sequel.
Alex, is the problem that it's
so
not like a
I'll
is
calm
it
down.
not a
Maybe
thing
not,
for everyone?
Maybe not Mount Rushmore.
Is that your problem that it's not? It's a you thing. It's not a them thing.
Well, I don't know if it may very well earn its spot here via discussion. I just don't know if I feel confident enough that we lock it in.
I don't know why. I'm sorry.
It sounds reasonable.
I think we've already said certain villains that I think would get that lock spot before.
Who we already talked about.
So everybody run through your picks for round 1 real quick for Gav. Patrick.
Jigsaw.
Which we all were like, absolutely has to be on the table. Who was next?
Brendan.
Brendan.
Death. Final Destination.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Barum. Alex. Evan.
Mr. Reed from Heretic.
Okay. Yeah.
Hugh Grant.
Samara Morgan from The Ring.
Okay. Which we debated over because of the remake status. Blah blah blah. Barum.
The Stoner and the Virgin from Cabin in the Woods.
Why? Explain why to him. Explain it to him real quick.
Because they figure out that their sacrifice is necessary to keep the old ones at bay and defy that, thus dooming the world to the rise of the old ones, which is a much greater evil than anything done to a group of 5 people.
Yeah,
that
makes
dooms
sense.
the rest of the world.
Yeah, no, you could.
The Japanese kids get a pass because they didn't know. Like the little Japanese girl class, like they didn't know that they were sacrificed. They were just trying to put the evil spirit in the happy frog or whatever. But Stoner and the Virgin knew, and they still went ahead
Can I
and
be the
defied.
campaign manager for that one? Barum, I got your back on that one, dude. That is
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a good. Yeah, I can see that.
Very creative. Okay. And then I said Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Yeah, unreliable.
Okay. So and Patrick was a little meh on it too.
I mean,
So
that's the whole premise of the book and the movie. Is like, can you really even trust what he's saying or what you're seeing?
what
Like,
does it matter? He's still a
d-
villain.
Oh, that's what I said.
well,
Same thing
hold
I
on.
said, Jeff.
All
And
right,
I
yeah,
listen,
excuse
no,
me.
I
So
got your back here
Brendan,
because
Patrick, and Gavin were against it.
I'm dude, listen, no, I Wall Streeters might be some of the most evil folks on the planet. I mean, I think we've shown that time and time again. I
For
mean, can
sure.
we not
Let's
agree?
put Jordan Belfort on here too. That was a joke. Okay, we can keep going. Uh so that's what had been said, and then yeah, and you threw in the entity. Patrick, you were starting to go for the top
Yeah,
of the next round?
yeah. The Devil's Rejects.
Yes.
Uh, they are unredeemable. Like they are villains. Unredeemable. There's no nothing. But it is such a fun ride to watch them. And like you kind of want them to win, but you really want to see them go down. Like it is I I may be a Rob Zombie fanboy. I'm not sure. I didn't used to be. But I
Yeah.
just like like they mm, I just I don't enjoy that I enjoy them so much.
I I like the idea of yeah, I like how uncomfortable they make me with how much I enjoy them as well, which I think is like, I don't know, something that movies kind of got a little scared and moved away from, which is something I feel like stuff from the 70s and the 80s starts to trail off a bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff of the 70s is like, yeah, we're gonna push some buttons and we're yeah. Yeah, I like this pick. Mainly, and I do like the evolution, at least across the first two movies. The
Yeah.
third one we can kind of just
There's a third one?
disregard.
You
That's
gotta think
well
you
played,
gotta
my
think
friend.
too,
Well played. Yes.
they don't make a lot of stuff like that anymore either. I mean,
Oh no.
the rape scene in the hotel room is unbearable. And then there's the scene where he wakes up next to the dead body that he's clearly been having sex with for days. I mean, that is like it's fucking I
And
don't know.
yeah, that's where the movie starts. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah, pretty bleak. But yeah, I definitely think they might deserve a slot. So we'll take them into consideration. The Firefly family, including Captain Spaulding, uh, excuse me, Otis P
Driftwood.
or Otis P Driftwood. Yeah,
I can't remember
uh,
the initial. But
I can't either. Uh, and of course, Baby. Yeah. Okay. So that would move us along to Brendan once again. What's your number two pick? Nomination.
Well, it was the entity from It Follows. So I had
Well,
to
so yeah, you
come up
gotta.
with one on the fly now. Uh,
I told you to have
so I,
at least a backup or two, bud.
yeah, well, I didn't, but I'm going to say one that I think we'd be remiss to not at least mention, considering we made it our number one horror film of the past 25 years, and I'm going to say King Pyman and the cult that follows him from Hereditary.
Can I ask you a question? Would it not be Joan?
Well, it's actually the demon King Pyman that possesses
But the
them.
demon
So,
needs a lot of help, right? I'm
so
just
you're saying
asking what came first, the
you're
chicken or
saying you're saying the vessel is actually the villain and not the demon
no, no,
entity?
no. I'm definitely not
No,
saying
he's
the
talking
vessel.
about Anne fucking Dowd. That's who he's talking about.
Talking
He's
about
talking
Ann
about
Dow. Talking
the
about
basically kind of as far as we know, the de facto like cult leader, um, who brings her in for the seance and everything. Patty from The Leftovers.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. But well, he did say, and the cult that surrounds Payman. So I'm like,
cult that surrounds him.
I'm like, you're kind of, I don't know,
I
you're
think
kind of having your cake and eating it too by fudging two together. Like, are you picking the demon for like what it does, or are you picking the cult for how creepy they are and for showing
you
up
got it.
in the
Can I make
nude
a
at
case here?
the
Because I
end
think
and scaring
Barham's got
everybody?
the man's the most dangerous animal thing going. We talks about the in Barham's situation, like he's got the idea right. And I think Payman's the same situation, right? Andowed, and this is clearly the villain because this demon needs so much help. It's not happening without human support. And I think that I don't know, I mean, psychologically, that kind of like makes the most sense is that people are more dangerous
Well,
sometimes than
Yeah, like
and
if you have the ability to stop it and you willingly don't.
yeah, if we had to go between basically the two, I think you can broadly say the cult, which is led by her, because the more and more you rewatch that movie, the more you realize how much every single aspect of what you're seeing is manipulated, like from the get-go, and how much everybody's just like they're there in the background. Oh, they did this thing. Why did this happen? Because of them. Like
right.
it's just like everything basically has an answer, and it's the cult. So I'm down with the cult from Hereditary. Yeah. The
Yeah,
payment cult. Um, hell yeah.
hell yeah.
Brendan, are you frozen again? Brendan?
I can hear you now. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yes.
what's
We
up?
no, we were just saying, yeah, the payment cult definitely in the running. So that takes us to Evan. Did you go next, and then Alex? Is that right? Yeah, Evan.
Yeah, okay. I'm torn here because we already have one Ari Aster cult that's been.
Okay. I mean,
I had the Harga Commune as one of my next ones. So if
so
I said that correctly, I don't think I did. But
so this is one where I'm like,
is it
are they villains? Or is this just their belief structure?
okay?
It's a
Just because a
really
guy
tight
cheat
knit
wants to
community.
not be with his girlfriend anymore does not mean he needs to be sewn into a bear suit and burned alive. Okay,
But
Oh,
he
no,
I'll
no,
take
stole
some
that.
the
stupid bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend.
he stole the dude's thesis. Like he was a dick.
He's
He
not a
didn't
good
really
guy. Yeah, he's
like,
not a good. Okay,
you
he's the
know.
villain. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
My
yeah.
I had two here. I had two here. Okay, and I know we're not supposed to do two, but we just had an Ari Aster, and I had an Ari Aster lined up. So should we just debate? Should we just debate the Hargakami?
I mean, or if you want to throw out another one, this is your slot. What do you want to
I
do?
mean, you tell me because we before we restricted people, I'm not saying a second one, but I feel like
I mean,
we can't.
I was playfully joking about like, are they actually villains? I think Hereditary is scarier on principle. Um, Midsommar is almost like ambient at this point. I don't know.
Really, you think it's okay? Let me. I think that some of his the Hereditary is scary. Like if the movie itself is real, but some of Ari Aster's other stuff is almost scarier because it is real. Anyway, anyway, that's just as my take on his movies in general. But I'll go if we're not gonna if the hard copy is not on the table, and I'm fine to.
dude, I'm fine with putting them on the table.
I
I'm
would
not
say pivot.
disagreeing.
I think it's a long shot that any cult makes the list of the top four.
Okay. Uh, all right, I might find one person who will be on my side on this one. I think Boar Tusks from Bone Tomahawk is one of the scariest.
I mean, I love the energy. I love the energy.
Let me explain. I had to
Did you have to
search
go and look up what's his name? His name is
IMDb.
Bortusk.
Boar
Hey, why do they call him Bortusk?
Well, they're sewed
Because he
into
has
his
Bortusk sewn into his fucking mouth.
and he eats human flesh. And I have not seen enough cannibalism on this list other than maybe Patrick Bateman. So anyway, I thought I'd bring in our
I
first cannibal
I might have ate
holocaust.
some of their brains. I tried to eat some of their brains. Yeah. Okay. I mean, dude, as far as like most viscerally terrifying, like if you see him in pure daylight or in the darkness of a cave, you're just like, I feel like my heart would explode before he got anywhere near me. You know what I'm saying? I would just be like,
For
it's so
sure.
over. It's so over. Just,
If you
I'm
saw
gone.
the actor's picture, you would just laugh. He looks like the nicest,
Oh,
like
I'm sure he's
probably
like total sweetheart.
Pacific
Yeah.
Islander type man, just jacked, huge guy. Just like anyway. But
Bortus.
Bortusk, terrifying human.
Dude, very, very scary. Uh, definitely. Oh, definitely memorable. That's for sure. Definitely glad. If anything, I'm just glad we now know that his name is Bortusk. In fact, okay. So next up would be, I think, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop mine and then I have to dip out. So I'm gonna,
Sorry,
throw it out
sorry
there.
we rambled on about Black Phone 2 and
No,
whatever
it's
else we talked about at the top of
y'all. I
this.
just want us all to be happy.
Wait, yeah,
Um,
shoot your next one
this is
out,
my long
please.
shot. One movie, and that's all it took for this person to be kind of like the unofficial icon of Halloween. And we're talking Sam from Trick or Treat.
I like it.
I
Um,
actually do like that one a lot. Yeah.
I think if
Dog.
I got a new Trick or Treat movie that had Sam in it every year instead of a VHS movie, I'd be a much happier person. Um, I cute, adorable, deadly. And I think that it works really well. Trick or Treat was one of those ones that you were surprised that it even kind of went straight to DVD instead of getting a true theatrical release. And I think it's become a Halloween staple every single year. And I think that you still go into Spirit Halloweens and see costumes and mask and everything of this guy on he's on coffee mugs. Put him on Mount
You're talking
Rushmore.
about if you're talking about Mount Rushmore, like it's a pretty great, like iconic face to put on Mount.
I think
Definitely an iconic visage.
I think that's what when I think Mount Rushmore, what I'm putting that's what I'm putting on there. Um, but I'm gonna have to leave y'all with that.
Are you putting them on there with the hood or without the hood?
I think see, probably with the hood. I think if we had to like seal it in one look, but I think that's what's
Curious.
great is without the hood, he's also kind of terrifying
He is kind of
and still kind
terrifying.
of adorable.
I love the set piece with Brian Cox. It's just great shit.
He just wanted his piece of candy, man.
Just an old guy in a house with a little doll puppet. It's
Just
incredible.
running around, and it works. It's equal parts terrifying and hilarious at the same time. And let's face it, all of us probably follow more Halloween traditions now because we watched that movie. I think
You're basically giving me my reminder to like, yep, I haven't
it
fired it
put
up
the
this
annual watch
season.
on.
You got to do it. You got
Yeah.
to do it.
So I'll leave you with that. And then uh, as much as I don't want to ruin anything, I'm putting a lot of trust in y'all. And I know that this is the same group that put Halloween 2 as one of the top 10 horror movies of the last 25 years.
Shots fired.
Sherman,
Which I don't
identity
necessarily
list stuff.
disagree, but I do know the general public disagrees.
Oh, they do. They do. I've been fighting that fight for a long time.
Well, and I was gonna say you could just shit on Halloween Ends because Matthew's not even here.
I did recently see a TikTok like countdown where they had like the worst horror movies ranked for the last 25 years, and 2009's entry was Halloween 2, which I don't know if I agree with, but I'm just putting a lot of trust in y'all. I hope that next week when we convene that I don't have to like angrily yell at y'all prior to the recording. So
We'll see.
I'm a lot of faith.
I'll let you know how it shook out tomorrow.
Patrick, keep them in line.
after
I
you
hate
after
being
you
an adult.
All right. All right, we will bid you adieu. Farewell, sunshine, moonlight, Mayfield. Excuse me. We will see you next time. Okay. So that brings us back around to Barham.
All right.
Second round pick.
Well, the brief was to get creative, and to be honest, like yeah, there's not that many. I feel like iconic Mount Rushmore faces of horror compared to like the '80s, just these long series. So I got creative, and this one terrifies me. The man, the myth, the legend, Nicolas Cage, not from The Wicker Man, but because he made The Wicker Man. It is
Okay.
The original is incredible. It's a fucking masterpiece. I love it. And apparently, he and his dead best friend from childhood did too. So he decided to make this in tribute and somehow fucking made that movie.
The bee.
It's just not the bees. I did think about making it the bees from this, but that wasn't in the theatrical release, so I didn't feel like
The
the bees
bees weren't in the
themselves.
theatrical? I guess that
No,
was
I
the
think they're just on the it's on streaming, I think, when you watch it. But it wasn't in the
so
theatrical. I
again,
think I
to be
cut out.
clear, you're nominating Nicolas Cage for his decision to remake The Wicker Man as
Yes.
one of the biggest villains of the
Yes.
last 25 years because he ruined an
The Wicker
iconic
Man.
movie.
Still
There was
hilarious. I
another
love to watch it.
performance.
I love watching it, but it is fucking atrocious. Plus Nicolas Cage's face on a mountain. I mean,
From that movie with the bee
and
hood
just
on
in
him.
general,
Yeah.
he's done some horror stuff that's pretty great. So
I mean, I highly recommend Vampire's Kiss if anybody's looking for a good horror comedy. Okay, I like it. I like it. My my number two here. Okay. Sorry, Mayfield just texted me. Don't you dare let death or Art the Clown on that mountainside, is what he said.
I mean, I agree
Can
with
you
one of
add him
those.
to the
Okay.
add him to the text group?
I do. Yeah, I guess Alex isn't in the group chat. Hold on.
Is he not?
No, he is. He's in here.
Is he in our text group?
Yeah, I don't know if he knows he is, but he
Yeah, add
is.
Patrick.
He probably, I don't know. I assume people that like work have like a bunch of spam shit that they assume like, oh, I don't know what that is, and they just keep scrolling.
Hey,
Okay.
I got added to the Lakewood High School band uh, group chat one year. I don't know how. No, it wasn't Lakewood. It was Lower Richland somehow. Somebody had me like, you can take, and I literally for a whole year, I had like 20 different numbers talking about like y'all at practice,
Brendan.
y'all not
Yeah,
going?
I haven't
No,
played
we're
the
not going.
clarinet in ages.
It's just
So,
yeah. I don't know who did that, but somehow my number got put into that.
Okay. This, this was my number one pick with a bullet. This seems like a no-brainer. Like honestly, if you guys fight me on it, like I'm kind of like, why did we even do this episode? Like I don't know what the point in doing this episode was. The Babadook. The Babadook has
Dude,
to be
yeah,
on the
for
mountain.
sure.
I don't agree with
I would
that.
agree. I do.
What? Why?
I just, it's fine, man. It's fine.
It's
The
not
Babadook
fine.
is
It's
I
literally
remember
fine.
one
liking
of
the
the
movie, but
best
it's not
horror
something
movies
that.
of the last 25 years.
No, and I understand that
But
people
isn't an
feel that way.
iconic villain?
I personally wasn't as scared in that movie as I have been in many, many, many other things.
Did you watch it? Have you watched it since you've had a child?
No.
Try it. Try it with a child and see if you feel the same way. I personally, when I first saw it, was like, "Oh, I get it. It's like I know what it is, but like I'm so far removed from that that I don't understand." But I think now, watch if I watch it again, I would probably actually kind of like have some more like
Okay.
real
I'll say
feelings.
no, I'll say that it was interesting because when I watched it with Sam, she had a completely different, she was floored by the movie. She
Yeah.
loved it. And I was like, it's all right. And she was blown away by it. So for what it's worth, I was kind of had one of those where I watched it.
Yeah, I think I'll say this as a positive note. I think it is the most superb execution of what has otherwise kind of been a plague on the genre for far too long. And I think we're slowly working our way out of it. There's still a lot of it being made, but the everything being tied to a core trauma or being a metaphor for trauma of some sort, I think has been absolutely done to death across the elevated horror space, that dirty word. Um, but I think this is the absolute best execution of form and content and theme and all of that coming together. And then on top of it, I think again, visually iconic, but also for me, every time I go back to it, still there's beats where see him where I didn't see him before and stuff like that. Like little beats of him in a doorway or in shadow here or there. And it's one of those movies I kept finding stuff in, like visual scares that I literally like didn't see the first time. And yeah, still spooks me, but also again tells like a deeply emotional story that has like, you know, a pretty profound ending to me that I don't want to spoil for anybody who hasn't seen it. But yeah, again, this is leaning more, I think, towards it's not necessarily scariest. I'm just saying visually iconic villains from horror movies. And not only that, but just what the character also represents. I think would be relevant for like representing this space that I do think kind of got out of hand and has been done to death. But this is like, you know, this is the 10
I
out of
think
10 version of it to me.
I think that like at the end of the day, it also does come down to like the things that actually scare you. They're very different by person in terms of like, and I noticed this like with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, that the things that always stick out to me are like, and he hasn't even come up yet, and I understand that there's reasons for that because of the what pre-2000 stuff, but like for me, I don't even feel like in this list, like someone like Hannibal Lecter, even if the movie took place after 2000, would even be on the would even be like allowed to be on this list, for example. But to me, like that's the most horrifying thing in the world, is because it actually is real. I think it's like those are the kinds of things that make me scared more
Hmm.
than the thing in the closet or the. Does that make sense? I guess like
I
that's the
feel you.
kind of stuff
Yeah.
that
Well, and that's
right.
again, we didn't even, again, it's whatever villain is to you. I don't think I necessarily am like, oh, I think this is the scariest, so it has to be top of my list. I think I'm bringing in like other aspects when I'm thinking about it because again, I was kind of going along the lines of what we had talked what we had talked about in terms of like, well, if it was Michael and Freddie and Jason, like what are the new icons? And part of that in my head is like visually iconic, something that like people would dress up as this for Halloween. Like it's not a prerequisite, but just in my head, that's kind of the space I was thinking.
Like Billy the
Um,
Puppet from Saw.
sure, absolutely.
Because nobody dresses up like John, they dress up like Billy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you never see anybody actually dressed as Jigsaw. I guess do people do the pig head?
Yeah, I've seen
People do
pig
Yes.
that
heads,
thing?
but
Yeah,
mostly,
definitely.
Yeah.
but I've seen more Billy the Puppets.
Word. Uh, but yeah, anyways, I like the Babadook a lot. That's all I wanted to say. Gavin, your second nomination, and then I guess we can kick around some honorable mentions to make sure there was nothing that people were like, oh shit, how did we not bring this up? But
I got one.
yeah, and then we can
I
just
could do
debate
two.
over what we got.
Well, like if I'm thinking iconic and we're going off the realm of what Evan's talking about with
Well, it's
like
whatever you
real,
picked, bud.
yeah, but
Whatever you
I'm
picked.
torn because like part of me, it's like everything that really truly scares me is from back when I was younger. So like if I'm gonna pick a second, it's gonna be the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers because that face you can put on
No,
a Mount Rushmore and like
number three on my list, brother. Or
right.
excuse me,
So
four
One
actually. But
hundred
yes,
percent agree with that
yeah,
pick. That should be
Yeah.
that's probably my
but
number
all
two.
yeah. So and I mean in taking just watching one and two as a thing, not reading anything into it, not talking about who made it or whatever. Just you know, you want to talk about iconic. There's no. I mean, I was genuinely terrified watching Jeepers Creepers with you and Mom on DVD at our house,
oh
either
yeah,
on Sandy Trace or Plantation, whenever. Like it was one of those like,
that was at
well,
the house in
I've never,
Whisperwood
I've never, I've
with
never
Shane.
been to the Midwest, but like maybe there are things like things that just come up like a locust type thing that's huge. To just it's the same reason why I'm afraid of the Mothman. Like it could be a thing. It could not. I've never not seen a Mothman, but I know that there's a place in West Virginia that like there's a Mothman that came around, you know. But it's going to be that. And the only honorable mention I'll mention, I don't think he could make Mount Rushmore, but I was thinking about it, and then Evan just talked about it. True to life is I don't know the dude's name, but whoever they're making up as Ivan Milat in Wolf Creek, that guy is like, it's only one
Dude,
movie, and I don't
he's
think
been
people remember
circling
him.
for me. Yes,
Yeah.
he's been circling for me. The head on a pike thing, that whole fucking, do you remember that whole bit where he
Mm-hmm.
tells her what a head on pike is? Dude, that shit, this haunted me since I watched that movie.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking where he
And then if
sticks her in
you
the back with a knife. Yeah, anyway.
And if you actually read about half the stuff Ivan Milat did, you're like, oh, well, that movie's pretty tame compared to like what the dude actually did to people. It's pretty fucked up. Like they couldn't do like the things that you think are like, oh my God, that's brutal. It's like, no, the guy did that, but he's real. Like that's a real person, you know. And thank God, he only passed away in like 2019. But he'd been in jail since the early 90s, and so it's one of those like I thought somebody might bring up people, which they may in honorable mentions, that the movie was sold to people as based off true events, and it really wasn't. It was kind of like, no, that's not really true. It happened to the quote unquote the director when he was younger, but really wasn't what you thought it was. Whereas like Wolf Creek, for most all intents and purposes, is true. They just couldn't use the guy's name, and so they just changed his name to something else and basically told you what he'd been doing to people from the late '80s to the early '90s, I guess. Just hey, I'll give you a ride, and taking them out into one of the Australia's outback forest places, and that was that. So yeah, but if I'm gonna do two and say two needs to be on Mount Rushmore, it's gonna be the Creeper because I can, as much fun as I have with two and Laura Palmer's dead, tracking him down and killing him and all that. I think the first one's probably like one of the coolest, like most original horror movies of the early
It's
2000s.
such and well, just such a cool concept that like I mean, I hate that it's tied to the franchise that it is and the director and creator that it is and all of that. But the idea of like this guy every 23 years for 23 days, he just gets to feed. But the concept of like, oh, he can if he consumes eyeballs, he's got backup eyeballs. If he consumes like a leg, he's got like so he gets fucked up. He goes into the prison. He just like chows down on a bunch of dudes, and then he's like full on winged creature, like ready to go. I just was like, again, the setup. We talked about this on
And
a
the
couple
the
episodes back.
scent, the scent thing,
Oh
like
yeah,
once he gets your
smelling
scent on
people's
you, you're
Smell
done.
fear
of fear.
You're
and
Yeah,
done.
he
like
likes
Yeah,
the way your
getting
fear smells. Dude, that
yeah.
and the reveal. I mean, again, this I will say spoilers, but 20, 25 years old at this point. The payoff of like he was after Justin Long the whole time because he wanted those eyes, and that final shot
Uh-huh.
is such an incredible payoff. So good. Uh Absolutely. Like the
when they
creeper's got to
first,
be up here. Is everybody okay with the
I
creeper on
think,
Mount
yeah, I mean,
Rushmore?
it's
Just such a cool creature design. Like
looks like a
Pat
fish kind of thing. He's
Pat
not a
Pat
fish.
Patrick. How do we feel? Not a
Never seen
creeper?
it, had no desire.
Oh, I mean,
Hmm.
fair enough.
I, brother,
I
I feel
will.
like
I do stick up for the first one hardcore.
first one,
Um, but yeah, particularly because of Justin Long and who plays who plays Trish the sister.
Elijah
What?
Dushku.
No, it's
Elijah,
not Eliza Dushku.
the
But it
sister.
Um,
should have been. It
no,
should have
it's
been.
not. No, because she's somebody I was
Don't even
always
get me
like, what
started,
did
dude.
she go on to
Wrong
like? What
turn.
I'm
happened
pretty
with
fucking
her?
sure it's Elijah Dushku,
It's
dude.
No,
definitely
it is
not
not
Eliza
Eliza
Dushku,
Dushku. I would
dude.
have seen it if it was
Gina
Pushku.
Phillips. Gina Phillips.
Damn, they look
What else is
similar.
Gina Phillips? Yes. Hmm.
Gina Phillips was also in Doom Annihilation, the sequel to Doom. Uh, nothing else here that's ringing a bell. That's just her known for. I didn't recognize
Dude, the
either
whole
of the other two
descent into the
movies.
cave thing, like when I was a kid, scarred me. Emotion. Like I just, anyway.
Yeah.
And
See,
Jeepers
I
Creepers.
think that's also part of the problem. As I was 25 when it came out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I could
I,
see
I,
that.
yeah. So
Um, but it's definitely a product of like, yeah, I was like 9 or 10 watching it. It had the vibe of like I remember thinking at the time, even with my little 9-year-old brain, this kind of feels like a Stephen King movie that Stephen King didn't write. Like I remember thinking, like, was it based on something he did? Because it had such a cool, unique vibe to it. You assumed it came from some sort of source material.
But like I will say, going back and seeing it as an adult, I'm like, this is actually still fucking horrifying. I mean, without exception, it still sticks. I mean, for me at least, I don't know. I think it's fantastic.
I like the creeper quite a bit, but we got some resistance from Patrick. Is anybody else kind of on the fence about that one? Or anybody else want to second it or really speak up for it?
Text Mayfield, see what he says.
I mean, it feels.
Okay.
I haven't seen those movies a ton. I loved them, or I remember at least the first one really enjoying it. I probably just kind of burned through the rest of them afterwards and didn't really care. But
The first one's a
it feels right. But I'm
for
not.
Yeah,
I'm not
we're
like.
we're mainly kind of bringing this to, specifically the first one, I think is what
Dude,
most people.
I not even low key. Enjoy the second one. The second one's pretty good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude, I saw
Which
the
one
second
is it?
one right after I saw the second Hills Have Eyes movie from the
Yeah.
the original Hills Have Eyes. So I was just like, they're on a bus. Like this guy's just
Yeah,
ripping off the Hills Have
right.
Eyes too. You know, I just
That's what I
in
was about
my
to ask.
mind it was that, but still
Okay.
just having that
Maybe,
pursuit from Laura Palmer's dad, that's what did it for me.
I forgot about
okay.
that.
So if nobody else is feeling like super passionate, we'll kind of hold. Okay. Creepers on hold. Any
No,
is there any is there any kind of
I can say he's on the
consensus?
list, but he's not an immediate put on
They're
the
all,
tail.
that's what I'm saying. They're all under consideration now. Everybody's had their say of their two picks. I guess the question is, from what everybody nominated, is there anything that anybody else is like, yeah, I definitely feel strongly about that. That was a great pick. Let's throw that up there.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
not
it
that's not
follows
their own, obviously, is but basically what I'm saying. But yeah.
the unnamed entity from It Follows.
Baron's pick
For
about the
sure.
yeah, man.
I like I
Um,
I agree with the It Follows thing because I just like
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most
um,
unique concepts, and the idea that it is unique to whoever is being pursued, that it can literally kind of be what anything but whoever or whatever kind of scares you the most
Plus, you could
is
just
an
put her
intriguing
face
concept.
on this Mount Rushmore deal. It's a
Whose
dual
face?
purpose. You
um,
could put Michael Monroe's face on there.
No, I'm gonna put the tall guy from the doorway scene, the
That's the
scariest shit in
that's
the
the
oh my
one.
movie.
That's the
gosh,
Yeah,
dude,
first
okay.
thing that sticks in my
terrifying,
brain
Noah.
every
Fucking
single time.
terrifying, dude. Dude, it's
Or
it's one
maybe
of
we'll
those ones
just
that
put
even
a
now still terrifies me, dude. Like
yeah.
thinking about it, I'm like, dude, is it behind me? I'm dead. I'm dead, guys. I'm still running.
I feel pretty strongly about the entity as one of the more unique and iconic of this era,
I do
personally.
think when you were talking about honorable mentions, I think we might have missed Mr. Boogie. I don't know if I
Oh
faded
yeah,
out
we can
during that.
definitely no, guys, you can definitely throw out honorable mentions. I will just say from like the
I mean,
further up my list, I had Peach Fuzz from the Creep franchise. Was kind of
Okay,
roping in the
now we're
TV show as
talking.
well.
Now we're talking, dude. Tubby time all the time. Just
I mean, yeah, it was on my list. I had Bagul, aka Mr. Boogie from
we had two
Sinister.
movies. You know,
Has
it
anybody
wasn't just
seen
a
this?
one and done.
Yeah, has anybody seen the second Sinister?
Yeah.
Okay, any thoughts?
That,
Is it
Public
worth my
oh,
Stranger.
time? Should I avoid
is it
it?
just you? Is it just? Am I the only one that's seen it?
I guess I haven't seen it. That's why I asked.
Yeah, that one came out in 2015, right? I believe.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it came out in
What about the
2015.
strangers? No,
The
good pick.
Strangers are on my list.
That's what I was gonna say. I didn't know if anybody's gonna bring up the strangers as the whole true
Um,
life thing, but wasn't
If we're
really
and
actually.
if we're going with the three, again, obviously, well, again, it's honorable mentions, but we're just kicking stuff around. So if somebody says something you think it should be lifted up, absolutely.
yeah,
Like,
I would tell you going back to it, Noah, number two, I would say maybe stay away from, but the first one did give way to having a second one. The second one, from what I remember, was like it was very predictable, very jump scare heavy.
Oh, Sinister. Gotcha,
which
gotcha.
yeah, which made it like not great. Obviously, anything that's relying on jump scares to be
Did they
good,
go?
ultimately,
Is there more tapes?
there's more tapes. Yeah,
Okay,
um,
but they're not
it's
directed
because
by
it's like
Scott Derrickson.
it's eerily similar to the first movie, but it's just
Not as well
poor
executed, I
performances.
assume.
Yeah, it's poor
Gotcha.
performances with high jump scares, and it's just like, dude, this is not good.
I think I'll pass. I think I'll pass.
I thought
I do like Bagul though, and a lot of stuff that's like in of that ilk. I don't really like the design of, but he was creepy as fuck in the movie. What were you gonna say of?
I thought 8 millimeter, the movie was 2000 for it's 1999, which is fucking unfortunate. But I was gonna say Machine from 8 millimeter.
Machine. Definitely. Hey, at some point we're gonna end up doing this list all over again, and the parameters are gonna be different, and we're not gonna be able to use any of these. So keep Machine in mind. That's
I
all
know
I'm saying.
I had a 99 villain, very similar in the vein of the Stoner and the Virgin.
Yeah.
Uh, Heather Donahue from the Blair Witch, greatest villain.
Oh fuck, dude, great! I love that pick. She's yeah. I rewatched that.
Debatable.
That was
Debatable.
I had you just get so frustrated watching that whole thing just break down. Anyway.
It is still the
Uh,
best found footage acting ever. The
Yeah.
best naturalistic found
Yeah.
footage
dude,
acting
dude, I love it. I think it's
in
great.
movie
It
history.
holds up so well.
Did you
One
say
of the
somebody does not for it?
Yeah, Alex, who is not here at the moment, but yeah, he famously doesn't get why I'm obsessed with it. It's one of the few movies that still scares the ever living shit
Fucking
out of me
piss out
every
of
Yeah.
me
single time I
every
Absolutely.
rewatch
single
it.
time.
Absolutely.
It's such a reliable, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just a few days away from it's going to be time to watch it again, and I'm very excited. But yeah. Oh God.
I gotta hop off of here, guys.
Can you?
Love y'all.
Love you too, dude.
All right, man.
Do you what's we okay? We love your Cabin in the Woods pick. I think we're gonna stick up for that one. I feel like that's the weird
Dude, can you
wild
imagine
card
how
third
sick it would
slot
be on the Mount
or
Rushmore
fourth
4
slot
if that
rather.
was the
It's also, I mean, it's also kind of an, they're archetype. They're an iconic archetype of horror movies. So I feel like that sort of
I
lends some
like the
gravitas.
argument line too, and I like also that, eventually if I do a graphic for this and we have the two of them there, people are gonna be like, what? They're gonna be intrigued, and then they're gonna be like,
That whole movie
why
is
are
like
they up
about
there?
kind of flipping the script and like the meta nature of it all. And,
That is exactly what I was going to say when I heard that those are your picks. It's like that is so fitting with that movie that he would pick those two because it lends itself perfectly to the idea that like
Brilliantly played,
yeah
Barum, and
yeah
yeah, we'll let you
but
make your exit. I
look
will,
forward to hearing the rest of this.
yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Yeah,
Yeah,
tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow night.
that is correct. I will see you then, sir.
All right, brother. Later.
Later.
Okay. Um. Oh,
Do we?
just
Can we
other.
count the? Here we go. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
go ahead, Brendan. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go. I lost y'all for a second again. Can we count the entity from Paranormal Activity?
Is that like is it one entity over the course of that whole franchise, or is it like
That's what I'm curious about
different
because
ghosts? I never followed it beyond like the
again,
first three, I
and I'm
don't
not
think.
saying that the movies are great. I know remember the first one. I was like, man,
the
this
first
movie
one's
was
pretty
not
good
good.
actually.
And
I mean,
then I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep well for like a week after the first one.
Yeah.
But there's 7 movies. I don't know if that qualifies as being like, okay, like we have to consider this because of the sheer number of movies that were made, or was it, that good?
I would say maybe the boyfriend from the first movie, biggest villain of the last
Or
25 years. Just an absolutely
it just
abysmal, annoying character. Yeah,
or
borderline
he gets thrown at
ruins
the
what
camera at
is
the end.
otherwise a pretty intense, scary movie. Um, I mean,
Does that count? Is that even a villain? I'm not sure. I mean, if
I'm
death
sure.
counts,
Yeah,
then
dude,
the Soul Suckers from Doctor Sleep, I think should be
for sure. The
Rose the Hat, dude.
what's
Rose
the
the
name?
Hat. Just ugh.
Oh, dude, she honestly, yeah, no,
she is
Rose the
so
Hat,
good.
pretty terrifying.
And if you're not watching Silo on Apple TV, you guys are all in the family now. Go watch Silo. She's the best.
Hell yeah, Rebecca Ferguson. I
Mhm.
will. Okay, I just want to run through real quick the ones I had that had not been mentioned yet. The Empty Man from The Empty Man. Satan from Late Night with the Devil. Black Phillip from The Witch. And this was the closest to my top. I almost went with this instead of Patrick Bateman. Uh, because I feel like maybe we need a lady on the list. From X and Pearl. Pearl.
We have Joan.
She's got two movies. She's iconic in two eras, in two facets, two vastly different performances. Uh, one
She
heavily
was
hated
she
by
was
me.
my backup.
Yeah,
Yeah, and actually I had two backups. My two backups were
I
Pearl
kind,
and the Babadook.
I honestly, well, I appreciate you having my back on the Babadook, and also I thought somebody, particularly you, Patrick, might have mentioned Pearl. That's the only reason I went ahead and did Bateman instead.
I would, but then I could not get away. I could not get away from Jigsaw and the
I
Devil's
think
Rejects because they
I,
just loom so large in my mind.
I agree. I think those are two pretty iconic. But I think Jigsaw's got to be on here, right?
That's got to be, dude. It has to
Yeah.
be.
Is Brendan coming back?
12 movies. I mean, you have to. You're that successful. You got to think about
Yeah. And I think
Halloween's the
again,
only
you ask
other.
like the average, that's what I'm saying. I think you ask the average person on the street, like, you know, name name the guy, like who's your favorite horror movie villain recently? They're gonna say Jake. I think he's the only like name villain, really.
Well, you have Art the Clown now
I
that a
guess
lot
you
of people
do.
are doing that like out of nowhere, which I understand. I mean, I
He's
watched the
fine.
first two. He's not that. I mean, it is what it is. It's
It feels like a
yeah.
throwback. It feels like 80s horror. Am I right by the saying that?
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, it has its place. I think he deserves to be mentioned because if you're keeping the parameter that like you can't go to something that was already established in another decade, this is the only guy that's like a face, something you could do for Halloween, something that's like you know who that is. If you once you know who he is,
Yeah.
you see that face, you know. Same thing with Sam, like we already said with Trick or Treat, like you know who that is, and you know who Art the is. And so just recognition wise, that's really the only two I could come up with that I'm like, if you're just going in that vein of like, I know who it is and they would look cool on a Mount Rushmore type deal. Those are the only two I can think of because the rest are going to be like entities and all of that. And I think it's interesting. Maybe I'm wrong here. We have these entities, these nameless death, the thing from It Follows, um, the Conjuring stuff, is there an actual, I don't know if there's, I can't remember if there's an actual creature in Smile or if it's just this
Oh yeah,
like
You
thing.
essentially
there's the
see one at the
creature that you
end of
see
the
at the end of
first
the first
one.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that like before then, leading up to then, and slightly after it, the 90s into the 2000s, we have like villain, 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 person, 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 person. Michael Myers, Jason X,
Ghostface.
Hannibal Lecter, all this stuff. We have Ghostface. We have all this. And then we get into this, like, I don't know if you want to call it like an amorphous unknown. And again, this is probably me just like thinking too much about it or not thinking enough about it. I'm always interested, and I've talked about this with Noel before, on when you get what you get relative to what happens at large. So we all have a big thing that happens to us in September of 2001. And what are we looking at afterwards? And it's almost like we had this like face, this name, this thing we could do, and it's still there somewhat into the early 2000s because we do have Rob Zombie's Halloween. We do have Nightmare remake that they tried to do in the late 20, or I think it's 2010. And like I said, like Jason X, and then that franchise kind of does. I really enjoyed that remake they did of the first one that was it. And then they never did another one. I know it's been back and forth and like who has the rights or whatever. For more on that, check out the podcast that Patrick and Matthew did on it. They did a hell of a job talking about that entire franchise. But then we get into like the 2010s, and all of a sudden it's like it's ghost stuff. It's like we're dealing with different, like the Babadook, like, oh, it's grief. Then there's this amorphous thing that we're scared of, and it follows. And there's these conjuring ghosts, and then there's these haunted Annabelle dolls. So it's just, I don't know. I'm always interested in like what horror is doing at a certain time relative to what's happening to us. So like now that we're where we're at in this decade, what are we going to be getting moving forward? You know, and I feel like we're talking about Art the Clown. I feel like with the way that that came about, it is just trying to be like, hey, there is no new slasher, no new face for horror. You know, we're redoing Chucky, we're redoing all this other stuff. Here's my attempt to be an original thing that's not here to be like elevated horror or like some ghostly thing. It's just a dude that dresses up like a clown and tries to kill you. And it's not it. It's not like a cosmic being come to Earth, it that eats fear. It's
Even
like
it
it's
has
just
the amorphous thing going for it too, though, because it can
yeah,
morph itself into your greatest
right.
fear.
Right.
Right.
And we haven't brought up it because, no, I said we couldn't bring up anything that was established in the 90s. But again, we talked about it on the last one with The Greatest. We are remaking things now. Hollywood's only been interested in IP stuff. So you're only going to see big tentpole horror thing. I think with this year's side, like, I can't even consider Sinners a horror movie. It's just a good movie. I don't even want to call it that. A vampire movie, whatever. It's just, I think it like exists in its own category. But if we want to loop that into the genre, then it's like, here's a completely original thing, and look what it did. Can we use that can studios look at that and say, if we give good directors the money and the time and the freedom, we're going to get a good return on our investment? Because a lot of these, what we don't talk about is like some of them are made for really, really, really cheap amounts of money, and they're always good for like a payday. Because like we just talked about Wolf Creek, that was made for like 1.4 million, I think, American dollars, and it grossed like 40 something. So it's making back 40 times its budget, and it's you know I think they made like two or three sequels. Man, it might have been direct DVD or direct Blu-ray, whatever. But like they made them still,
And a
so
TV
they're obviously,
series.
and it's yeah, okay. I didn't even know about a TV series. So just you know, if we're trying to make something like these are the things that you can look to when you think of horror in this last 25 years, I would argue you got to put, like we said, Sam, the Creeper. I think you do Jigsaw as well, or Billy the whatever the not John Kramer, but the little
Billy,
the little
the
yeah
marionette puppet.
yeah that. And I cannot think of like a really iconic fourth one that just comes to mind that like people instantly know the minute they see it. Oh shit, that's you know this
You said
person.
Jigsaw yet? Did you say Jigsaw as well?
Yeah, yeah, basically Jigsaw. Yeah,
That's why I kind
Jigsaw.
of like, again, the fourth slot going to uh, the Virgin and the Fool. Barham's like twisted
yeah,
pick. I kind of like that.
It's kind of the most bad, like it's so badass because it's like what actually is a villain anyway. Like
yeah.
I mean, and it plays into the stupid quote so well because of the archetypes. You either die the hero because they have to die, or you live long enough to see yourself the villain.
Well,
That
and
is perfect,
also
dude.
like
I think we nailed it. I think that's perfect, actually.
what
I
what's
just love
so
like
funny
three
is
really
like
iconic and then just those two.
that the whole genre was so dead when Cabin in the Woods came out.
Yes.
Like all of the tropes that it was playing on were honestly felt like 10, 15 years removed from when it was being made.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, it definitely felt like, oh, this was especially made like just for people who love this shit.
Yeah.
And so I really like the idea of, yeah, we just, in keeping with the meta-ness of it, it's like it revived all of those tropes, but then nobody really took it anywhere. It's like, yeah, we got to have Scream back, but yeah,
If
like,
if we're taking it if we're taking it completely serious though, and we're not just trying to say like, yeah, obviously that's those are the biggest villains of any of these, but they ended the world. It's probably what you said. Gavin said the Creeper, Sam, We said Jigsaw,
Yeah.
and then there was a fourth. Who was the fourth that I'm missing?
I mean, I think for pure iconography, I like the Babadook, but you were not
Yeah, you
crazy
could.
about that one.
I wasn't
Well, I
crazy
mean,
about Babadook.
but on a just a menacing, like when I see it, I know what it is. And like I know Becky doesn't know what it is. She's never seen it. And she doesn't really do scary movies. So I was surprised that I got her to watch Lost Boys and Scream 4, like sit down and just have them on yesterday. And she was like, I think I've seen both of these enough that I'm not going to be like scared by them. I'm like, you shouldn't be. They're great. But again, I was like, there's like one scary scene in Lost Boys. But like, I think if I, you, when you do the Babadook, you see it. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you are intrigued by it to say, wait a minute, what the hell's that? You know, to go investigate to see what it is. You know what I mean? And so I could say you throw that up there as the fourth, or you could throw Barham's two up there just for like what it means to have them up there. But you know,
Maybe we pick it. I feel weird determining it when there's only four of us. Maybe we pick a top eight and I throw it to social media and everybody votes for, and we
dude,
just
yeah,
see
That's
do it.
cool. No,
who
that's
gets the
cool.
Yeah,
four
That's cool.
highest
I
yeah,
votes.
that
like that.
works. Yeah,
These were the
I like
eight.
that.
Yeah, I'll just do a poll on Instagram to finalize it. I just wanted to
A
say,
include Patrick Bateman in there.
oh, dude, I'm gonna put all the ones that like were mentioned, and then I'll throw in some wild cards. But like, yeah, everybody's like number one or two pick will get mentioned for sure. Um, over my shoulder, Stuntman Mike. Almost forgot.
yeah,
Everybody loves
Lest we
Stuntman
forget.
Mike. Come on.
Real
yeah.
man killers. Yeah.
uh,
Oh, I want to shout out. Did I tell you I saw, speaking of vampire movies, and I don't know, I think this is post 2000. Jim Jarmusch's Only Lovers Left Alive.
oh, you finally
Oh,
looked at the
oh
hell yeah,
God.
dude. I love that movie. I,
Fucking blown away.
okay, I was gonna say not for everybody.
I
So
was like,
I, yeah,
this movie of these
hell yeah.
vampires just sitting in rooms talking about the past. I'm like, this is so fucking good.
It's the
I
yeah.
don't I just like, this has no business being as good as it is. It's just so
It's
entertaining. I don't know why.
it's
Anyway,
the. I mean,
I had it in my hand at the university library on Saturday.
you haven't
Uh,
seen that one.
no, I haven't, but I put it back because I finally found where they'd hidden Ghost Watch.
It
it's
is
the
hell yeah.
Patrick, I'll say this, it's the most like, I think about vampire movies sometimes and I'm like, well, how do you still have money? Like, how are you surviving? How do you have a house? There's like a lot of like those like weird little details that are just sort of included in the story. That's not the point of the story.
It's kind of what we do in the shadows, but like not outwardly
Serious.
comedic. It's just like
Yeah.
I mean, it is still very funny. It's a funny movie,
Oh yeah.
but it's also just like yeah, it's very like the practicalities, the day to day of like how do you exist as a vampire in modern society? Like how do you
It's
pull
like,
that off?
No,
why
And
I get
would
it. On
yeah,
there's a
what
whole other
happens when
side
you're
of me that may or may not be a filthy tabletop role player that plays vampire, where you are the vampire and you have to deal with those things. Not that
you
that's
I feel like you would really vibe with this one. I will say
movie's
it
great.
is. I mean, it's a Jarmusch movie, so it is like you get on its wavelength, and then you just kind of vibe with it.
yeah.
This is, I mean, it's one of my favorites of his, right up there with Ghost Dog. But yeah, he has a new one this year that's supposed to be super good as well.
Dead Man was all right. I started watching what's the one with Bill Murray with the zombie one?
The
I
The
haven't
Dead
dead
Don't
they
Die,
don't die.
Okay, I've been meaning
pretty
to
fun.
watch that and I have not finished it.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
fun.
pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll do that to settle it because it feels weird for us to just like render the verdict. And it seems like there was no like real hardcore consensus picks, like where everybody was like, "Fuck yeah, that's definitely on there."
I don't
Everybody
know.
had,
We started off and everybody said Jigsaw
Jigsaw.
had to be there.
oh,
Jigsaw.
I do. I think Jigsaw is the one like for sure. Like, and I
Great movie.
think obviously when I put it up to a poll, I think that's gonna be like I would be shocked if he's not number one, just because he's the most recognizable.
Yeah.
Again, I will be putting up Tobin Bell, not the little doll man.
You should
Oh
you
no, you
should
gotta.
you should
So
put them both so that people
yeah.
understand.
Are you sure?
He's like, no one's
I
gonna
want to
know who
put
Tobin
Tobin Bell
Bell
from
is.
The Firm
Oh my
on
God!
the
Please don't.
Rushmore. See if people know exactly who I'm talking about, right? This is young Jigsaw, right? Everybody saw
For a guy who
saw him,
dies
when
like
he had
two
hair.
movies, doesn't he die like two movies into the franchise?
He's been
Yeah.
dying for.
2003.
Oh, he dies in three. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I just watched 2 the other day because it's the 20th anniversary and I met Beverly Mitchell.
Two is
Two
so
recently.
incredibly metal.
I was gonna say that is the most. That might be the most 2000s movie ever. Just the physically, the way it looks, feels, is shot, performed, every single thing about it is just like it's the early 2000s and everything looks like shit. Yeah. Um,
He cuts the
I
skin
hate
off
I
his
hate
neck while he's
songs.
screaming. It's just so
The
fucking
Needle
awesome.
Pit.
The
Oh my
needle pit.
god,
Yeah.
dude. That movie's so.
Oh, and the poor PA who had to go through the needle pit to pull out the actual needles that accidentally got dropped. They dropped like 3 real needles in there.
Ugh.
All the other
Just
ones
to
were
spice
silicone.
things up. Okay.
Like they were on the
Wow.
set and they kicked and rolled into the pit and they were like, "Cut, we can't. Sorry, we can't send her in until they're out."
Damn, that's rough.
Yeah.
Well,
So they had to go through.
I mean, again, yeah, sheer body count, it's got to be like Jigsaw and Death
If
from
you,
Final Destination.
but
Like
if you put when you
they're
put
like neck
death
and neck.
when
Just put
you
a
put death
lawnmower
up
on Rushmore.
when you put death up, you have to use a picture of Tony Todd, even though he's
Well, yeah,
not
he's
death.
he's the Undertaker. Or what do we call it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got a name. They give
he's
him a
the
whole.
franchise representative for sure.
Or the logs from the truck. That's the most iconic thing.
Dude,
Yes.
yes, just a log tearing through a windshield. Yeah, that could be
Yeah,
it.
through A. What's that guy's name? AJ something. I can't remember his last name. Just straight through his cop car. Yeah.
Iconic,
Yeah,
truly
dude.
iconic.
And
And
then
I
a
don't.
headless child for
The
Joan, just because it's.
why do I feel like somebody's done that? Number one villain, the log from Final Destination 2. I feel like I've seen that on a list somewhere.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is everyone on when they drive on the highway now and they drive behind one of those trucks, there's a shit ton of them in Washington because obviously logging is huge up here.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks about it, right? I'm not the only one.
Oh
I can't
no,
even
it's
drive
still
behind one. I
yeah.
have to get in the other lane. I can't drive behind the truck.
That's the problem with that movie, arguably.
Yeah.
That scene
Yeah.
is too fucking good. And then the rest of the movie is just like none of the other kills live up to any of that shit. That whole sequence is so fucking yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'll
That's
argue
where I
that
think
like
Bloodlines really figured it out is like the way
Yeah.
they paced their I mean they had a big set piece up front and I was like they're not going to top. Oh, I mean I'm like that was wild, but then they just kept like no.
Yeah.
We got more. We got more in our pocket. Yeah.
See, I think that's the reason why I love 3 so much is because the big set piece at the beginning, like you see what happens, premonition, and then it's like I feel like they still keep them going to a higher level. And what 3 is like my favorite, honestly. I don't know why. I saw 3 the most in theaters. It did something to me whenever whatever age I was. I was like, I think 3 is my favorite. I didn't see 4 or 5 or The Final Destination until they came out on HBO. I watched them all last year. It was like
Yeah.
3, 1, and then 2. But Bloodlines is really fucking good.
Yeah. Have you watched Weapons yet?
No, is it like
Okay,
available to
wait.
rent, or is it
No.
so
Wait because it hits HBO on Friday.
this Friday?
Yeah, it'll just be on Max on Friday.
Hell yeah. Okay, good.
So don't rent it. Don't pay for it. I mean,
Okay.
do if you want to. I'm gonna pick up the 4K soon, but just it will be streaming on. Yeah, it'll be streaming on
Okay.
Max
I
on
have to
Friday.
put Max back
For
on
all
my
of our
phone
listeners,
Friday.
yeah, on the 24th, Weapons will be available on HBO. I think our shared and agreed upon best horror movie of 2025. We highly recommend it for anybody that hasn't seen it. And maybe we'll definitely do a full on. We've kind of danced around that movie a lot every time it's come up recently. I think on our final Arctober episode, whatever that is next week, we will maybe at least commit to doing that after Gavin has seen it, and Baron will have seen it by then as well. And yeah, we can do like a deep dive on weapons slash maybe, I don't know, we could talk VHS Halloween. We could do some other new reviews. But one thing I had kicked around, this might be a little too much to pull off this close to the date. Hold on. So that would put us at the 29th if we recorded. We'd have it up by Halloween if we want to do that. I thought about doing a horror draft, basically, where we set up like a couple categories depending on how many people we end up having. We might cut it to like, I don't know, maybe something like 6 or 7 as opposed to like 10. But basically, like, oh, slasher or performance, director, whatever, individual scene, like biggest scare, or we do like a uh, zombie, werewolf, vampire subcategory, and like a cosmic, supernatural, whatever subcategory. But basically, yeah, if you draft the movie, it's off the table, and whoever has the best list at the end of the thing.
Well, so okay, so do you mean in the way that we talked about the Final Destination scene with the log, where you're like, all right, what are some of the most iconic horror scenes of the past 25 years that like stick in your
Oh
mind?
yeah,
Is
I'm
that what you're
saying like that. I'm saying like that would probably be a category, but I'm saying the idea would be a draft where we have the categories, and it's like, okay, we're snake drafting or whatever, and everybody goes through. But I'm saying, yeah, like scenes could be a category within that, or like, oh, here's your genre pick. You have one, but it would all be still limited to the 25-year range that we've been doing for all of this.
I feel like there's one movie, and I don't know, I don't know if we're like kind of past the point about like Let the Right One In or like Let Me In. I feel like we've kind of like
Mm-hmm.
danced past that one multiple times. We like peripherally almost talked about it. Anyway, there's some couple scenes in that.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. But anyway,
But
so
yeah,
yeah,
if that's something you guys would be interested in, I had kicked around a couple category ideas and stuff. The main thing would be we'd have to commit to a date and a time that works for everybody because it's not the kind of thing where everybody can dip in and out. It's like you got to be in the room because if a movie gets eliminated and we don't have that person's pick for that round, or everybody would have to commit to like, hey, we're doing this for 2 hours and we start at this time.
Yeah.
So something to think about. If not, whatever, we can just do like a review hoopla episode as one last thing before Halloween if you guys want to. But something I was thinking about. But we could
Yeah.
also potentially just plan to do something like that for next year. And it doesn't have to be married to the 25-year range. And it could be a giant thing where it's a bunch of categories and it takes place over multiple episodes. And we do that in lieu of like a big 25 for 25 thing. And that's
I
a
like
whole
that
nother
idea.
thing.
Right off the bat.
Oh,
I'm
I
putting
like
out
that
there.
idea.
You like the draft that lasts all Arctober season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
And
With like,
my pick's Nosferatu, and the answer is which one? Yes.
okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe it's more fun to do it when it's completely gloves off because then you're just building like the best list possible and it'd be weird and eclectic and we could do all sorts of different subcategories. That could get very, very fun because it would also force you as you're preparing for, the categories to watch like, oh, I need a nominee for, you know, 70s Giallo. I got to pick one.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's something for next year. So we'll talk in the group chat about what we're gonna do for next week. Until next time, we will bid you adieu this evening. Thank you once again to Mr. Patrick J. Blanchard and Mr. Evan Tuhig for joining us once again. I have been Noah.
And I would also like to thank Mr. Brendan Riley, Sir Baron Williams, and was
Baron
it
Von Williams.
Baron Von Williams, and Mr. Midnight Mayfield. Is that his name, Midnight Mayfield now?
It is for this month, yes, brother.
We cannot say the rated S words, the sunshine. We cannot speak it out loud. But I have been Kevin. Those men have been who they have been and will continue to be. And we bid you a very spooky farewell on this second to last episode of the
Ark
Ark of
of
E
E
podcast.
You've been listening to what we've
We've been
screaming
screaming about.